Hello, how are you? I'm going to do a face-off video, nice and quick for you today hopefully. I've got another one of these Majestic razors. Like I said on the other video, these were from a 1950s kind of barber's lot. So I bought like a lot for the razors and the stones. And the other Majestic razor that I've got is Noz. I don't think it's everywhere, it ain't been used. And this was basically his user. This was his user razor. And when I got it, you could see that he was somebody that stropped them, like, because it had almost like a convex blade, still very sharp. I didn't actually see if it was kind of like shave ready, but I assume it would, because you know when he packed up, he would have just put it in his box, all well shave ready, whatever he did. And the other one is this Klas Tornblom. It's like one of these little rattler ones. Really pretty razors to look at. Nice grind pattern and shape and whatnot. Super thin blades. Like I mean some of the thinnest. Like, I know it won't do it justice. If I can find it, I don't think that's gonna. But it's just tiny. See if we can do it that way. That's a bit better, isn't it? Yeah, thinnest blades, man. I've had loads of these classes over the years. This type as well, it definitely seems a type that they pushed out a lot, little thumb notch. This one's got like, well, not weird, but very much different kind of scales, whether it was come out the factory like this. I have actually seen, I've not personally had any, but I've seen them in these scales before. So I kind of leads me to believe a bit that they were factory, but who knows? Obviously it's too long to tell and nobody knows. You know what I mean? Even the wedge is the same plastic as the actual scales. I can't see if it was like moulded like that. It's quite hard to tell. Can't tell if there's like a wedge glued in there. To me it kind of looks like it was moulded that way. There is sort of lines. But it definitely, well, to me it was definitely kind of factory moulded, the scales anyway, let's put it that way. A few marks on it and everything. They normally take a really good edge, they do. Like I said before, the old Klas, man. Anything Klas, Tornblom, is pucker. I'm not going to use the normal brush I use. And today I'm going to shave this Seller Aloe Vera, the BLK 12S. Loaded it up beforehand. Let's give it a few wishes. Let's get us a bit more water. Full swing now, Christmas. Little one went to see the big man yesterday. At least she actually didn't scream this year. Nice old smell to this soap. Bit of aloe vera. Got one of the plants downstairs. If you ever cut yourself, you just slice a bit off. It does help soothe it. You get bit by something, it helps soothe it. Stinging nettles and whatnot. Creates a good lather as well. Right, let's have a go at your Klas. J-nut edges again. I think all my edges. For the sort of foreseeable future. Pardon me. It's breakfast, that is. Sausages. Very smooth shave, you can barely feel anything really. I don't feel like it's taken anything off, but it is. I can't quite remember if this one of the edges was from 5,000 or 12. I think it was my last one. Actually, I think this was from the 12, and I think, sorry about my bloody tap. God. And I think this Majestic is from a 5. It's quite a bit louder than the Klas. Like I said in the other video, I can't really find nothing about these Majestics, so I can't really tell you anything about them. But what I can tell you is the steel's really good, profile of the razor's really good, grinding is exceptional. Like I did shave with the other one with a gotter, because they really remind me of gotters basically. It has got like a slight belly to it, the German grind. I think from my understanding, if they call it a German hollow ground, it means it's got a belly. And if it says, like the German razor, if they say extra hollow, I believe that's without the belly. Or at the very least, a very small belly. I don't know if you can hear that, that's my daughter singing Jingle Bells. The other day she was singing Jingle Bells. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way for about an hour, and it was effectively just the one verse. She was getting louder and louder and louder. We were trying to get her to sing the other verses by joining in. She was having none of it. It was hilarious. But I think you have to be there. And she's had a granddad around today to visit, so that's always a better day for her. Got him doing the crafting, which he loves it. All that just loaded on the old brush. So I'm probably loading too much in the brush, if you know what I mean. So I might have to do a bit less of. Deceiving, you see, because until you go like this, you don't know how much is in it, but yeah, I'm definitely putting too much in it for my 2 passes. It's my impression of Santa Claus for everybody. Yeah, like I said, went to see the big man yesterday. Hope you got some razors coming. Even though I kind of buy and sell razors, collect them at the same time and everything, I'll still be getting a razor for Christmas. I'll make myself laugh with it. I'm getting a Japanese razor basically, a Parker. I've been after a Parker for a long time. And it's the steel that's got the extra carbon in it. So it's harder. I think it's like a half hollow. Yeah, I'm excited to get it. And the thing is, like when I get a razor like this, is from my wife and my daughter, I'll never sell it. Well, I can say obviously, I think. You know, and then when you shave with it, you know, whenever I do, and if I'm lucky enough to live a few more decades and whatnot, you know, you always just think you're the person who bought it for you and whatnot. It's good. I'm gonna have my winter clear out my razors. I'm gonna sell some of my nice Swedish ones. Once a year I've got to get a bit brutal in my collection, you see. Otherwise, I just end up with way too many I do. But that's part of the fun. I've got a lovely little MK31. I'm going to sell that because basically I've got another one, you see. So I've got more than one of them, and I'm going to sell the one that's got a nice little box and it's like nearly a mint condition. Because my other 31, you see, I've done some custom scales with it, so I just figure like, I like my scales, I like my custom scales, I don't really care about the scales on the original. Like I'm sure I've said before, my enjoyment from razors is from the metal and the history, I guess, but more just the metal. And then, oh, sorry, wrong razor. And then, yeah, so basically I don't really care about the scales. Look, you know, those custom ones are really nice, and I did them, so kind of it's like cool in that way, if you get the drift. And I've got an MK32 as well, I'm going to sell that. Basically, because it's not a razor now that I kind of long to shave with. It was. So I might as well just let it go, man. Because I'm not somebody that likes collecting razors just to keep them, if you know what I mean. And I've got so many razors that are effectively the same pattern as it and size and whatnot. So I might as well let somebody have it who's going to really appreciate it, whether they're just going to collect it or use it or whatever. Sometimes I have to check this side more because it's almost like my depth perception is off on that side, and I swear that's linked to you neglecting. I'm right-handed, you see, so neglecting your left side. I'm sure neurologically you just don't work as well. Because basically I never have to do it on me, well, rarely have to do it on the other side. Yeah, it's nice. Two nice razors, man. They like the Nos Majestic's really nice, and this one I think it's just about as nice. Anyway, let's put it that way. You know, there's some wear marks on it and stuff, and some kind of sort of slight pitting sort of bits and bobs on it, but and there's a little, where is it? There, little like R, whatever that meant. To the gentleman that had it before. Yeah, nice razors though. And then classes, they're all the same, man. All them Rattler grinds. I've got like Eric Anton Berg ones, and I'll talk about Eric Anton Berg. So I bought some Job Lot Swedish razors, and one of them's this beautiful little smiling near wedge, and the handle's broke on it. So the scales. So what I'm going to do is put some new scales on that. It's going to be one of my keepers. Because I ain't got many in that grind pattern, and it's basically Nos, it really is. It's got a little sort of abnormality on the spine. It's got this little dent thing that I think was actually done in the grinding house back in the day, because you can almost still see the grind. So it might have gone out as a second to a family member or somebody that lived down the street from the factory. Because in Sweden, from my understanding, they, like in Sheffield, you see, we industrialised Sheffield in such a manner that grinding houses at home went out of fashion a lot sooner than sort of the rest of the world, and I think the Swedish and the Germans as well in Solingen, they kept their grinding houses, so like effectively they worked in their back garden. This is my understanding of it anyway. I have read a lot about it, but obviously something that old's always got a bit of, you know, what if you know what I mean. Yeah, but they kind of basically worked in sort of sheds, outhouses, in their back gardens, and yeah, they outsourced their grinding work to these grinders. And whereas in Sheffield by that time, they were basically in great big warehouses, great big units. There was lines upon lines upon lines upon lines of them. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's a nice blade, man. Nice smiley blade. The polishing on it is just amazing. Like the level of polish they got back then was far superior to what they're doing now. I've had like 2 or 3 what I'd call modern razors, and their polishing's way off compared to the old boys. And if you read about that, they had all sorts of special concoctions, and like crocus, and I think one of them they used to call it like a foxing polish or something. I'll try and have to read that article again. And everybody used to come out red basically. God knows what he was doing to their lungs, man. God knows. There were no ventilation back then anyway, other than opening the window. I don't imagine they did that in Sheffield in the mists of the winter. Right, what 1-1 today? Face off, Germany versus Sweden. Right, little weeper. I think I had 2 actually, but one of them's gone already. Right. Well, they're damn near equal they are. I can't tell the difference between them. They're both a winner, they're both the winners. Oh yeah, and just before I sign off, I sold my WBU. WBU, it's because I was thinking of Wade. My Wade and Butcher FBU, that's gone now, and the person who had it, he had a shave with it the other day. He bought another razor from me as well that was a lovely wedge, smiling wedge, and it was the best wedge I've ever sharpened. That was honed. It was lovely on the stones. Like anybody that does honing knows that wedges can be a bit of a pain sometimes, but that one was just beautiful. Like just honed lovely, sweeping smile on it. You know, you could manipulate it to stay. It was just lovely. Yeah, and he bought that one. That was stamped. What was it? Manchester Street, I think. Market Street. That's it. Yeah, Market Street, Manchester. Which I imagine was like a men's outfitters or barbers or something that was going on back in the day. And yeah, and he bought that FBU. And he had a shave of the little wedge foot. Well, I say wedge. It was actually quite a big wedge, but you know, compared to the FBU, everything's little. Yeah, and he shaved with the Wade and Butcher man as well, and he loved it. So he's I think he was a Chinese fellow. He said Asian anyway. Just lovely. Just glad it's shaving again. Somebody's appreciating it. I'm probably going to regret selling it in the future, but like I said, I vowed to sell it before I bought it. You know, not because I didn't want to keep it, just sort of money as well. You know what I mean? When you make kind of a sort of a big investment to buy a broken razor of sorts, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, you kind of need your money back in a way, don't you? I ain't no rich man. Right, that's it. Love you, leave you. Hope you've had a good day. See you later. Toodaloo.